What's good, YouTube? Hey, we back with another reaction video, y'all. I am trying to get my life together outside of YouTube, so I apologize if I haven't been like super like attentive over here. I feel like I've been like solid, but I ain't been, as focused as I was like the last couple of months, because the last couple of months YouTube has been my focus, but life happens outside of YouTube, so I gotta handle business. But we got the breakdown of Stray Kids, the Little Mermaid concept for Lose My Breath. Let's just get straight into it, see what they got.
Back to Bookish Theories.
By the way, if y'all want to check out Bookish Theories, feel free to go check out Bookish Theories.
Hello and welcome back to Bookish Theories. Today I lose my breath breaking down Hello and welcome back to Bookish Theories. Today I lose my breath breaking down Stray Kids' mermaid concept for their English debut. Also, my apologies, but today you can probably hear the birds chirping outside of my window. It's spring, they're very much in love, they want everybody to know this, so please be understanding. And speaking of love, Lose My Breath is actually a track that expresses the overwhelming emotions of a person that, much like my birds, falls in love at first sight. As soon as their eyes lock with the other person, Stray Kids experience a wave of side effects that puts them in shock. They drop on their knees, they lose their breath, their heart stops.
Bro, I'm loving how she tying in the birds into this concept.
And as their world turns upside down, they understand that there's no going back to the life they used to live before falling in love. Now, to portray this life-changing experience, Stray Kids opted for a concept inspired by The Little Mermaid by Hans Christian Andersen, which is also the story that inspired the Disney animation all of us grew up with. The original story.
See, when I thought of The Little Mermaid, I thought of like my childhood version of the animated series, but really, I did not even know this was like a theme for real. I like this. Our concept was The Little Mermaid, but she specified which Little Mermaid. This makes it a little bit deeper.
That inspired the Disney animation all of us grew up with. The original story is a lot more brutal than the Disney version, but Stray Kids also confirmed that their adaptation has its own unique twist to it. Lose My Breath portrays a mermaid story inspired by The Little Mermaid, but also adjusted to fit their own style and originality. In this version of events, Stray Kids become mermen who sacrifice their own breath to get a new life on land and pursue the subject of their affection. Back in the trailer, Felix introduced this concept with a direct reference to Hans Christian Andersen. Like in the original story, the narration tells us that mermaids live for 300 years. They have a very long life, but they don't have souls, so when they die they turn into sea foam.
To be completely fair, I feel like this concept wouldn't have been delivered as deliberately or well if they didn't do the intro. The intro really gave us a lot more like context, if that make any sense. And with the context that they gave us, it allowed us to really like be immersed in the storytelling that they had. I like that.
Yes, they have a very long life, but they don't have souls, so when they die they turn into sea foam. In contrast, humans have a much shorter physical life, but they have souls that continue to exist forever. In Andersen's story, one of the only ways for a mermaid to get a soul is to get a human to fall in love with them, so when Ariel makes the pact with the witch, her goal is not only to marry the prince, but also to get a soul in the process.
Have y'all seen this new mermaid? I gotta show love just because the actor's black. I'm gonna just be honest with y'all. I'm gonna just be honest. Just because the artist, like the main, I gotta show some love. But have y'all seen this? And if you have, can you let me know how you felt about it? Was it a good movie? Did they, was it true to the original? Or did they put their own twist on it? I feel like whenever they remake movies, which Disney and all of these people, I'm not even gonna rage about this on here because that's not what it's about. But they always love to remake movies. I feel like it's nothing wrong with remaking movies as long as you make it entertaining. Really, I feel like they remake it and it's weird. You know what I'm saying? And I think it also don't give the same nostalgic feel as the original. You know what I'm saying? I feel like it do a better job at remaking books or remaking other forms of art that haven't already been put into like animated, or I don't know how to explain it.
In Stray Kids' version, the goal seems to be the same, because Felix's narration focuses a lot on the beauty and complexity of the human soul. In the video, the soul is described as being as azure as the petals of cornflower and as pristine as crystal clear glass. The soul, however, is also very profound, and beneath its surface, one's memories ripple like waves into the depths. Now, this beautiful description of the soul is actually very interesting, because Stray Kids use the same words that Andersen used to describe the sea back in The Little Mermaid. That story begins by saying that far out in the ocean, water is as blue as the prettiest cornflower, as clear as crystal, but also much deeper than one can fathom. At the bottom of the Sea King dwells with all of his subjects, and this is the home kingdom of The Little Mermaid. Now, if we compare the trailer with the original story, we can see that Stray Kids not only draw a parallel between the human soul and the ocean, but they also place memories in the depths of the soul, the same way Andersen puts the kingdom of the sea at the bottom of the ocean. This is especially touching if you consider that, in order to become human, this merman abandoned the sea never to come back again.
Yeah, and then that scene right there where he was like, I feel like something's coming over. I feel like there's something coming over me. Whenever they did that, that was low-key them, transforming into a human because they felt the love for the first time. You see he's stumbling in the scene. Ooh, they was onto something.
To become human, this merman abandoned the sea never to come back again.
Even in the dance moves. Like, come on, bro.
The moment they give away their breath to gain new life, the only way to access the kingdom in the depths of the ocean is through the memories stored in the depths of their soul. In the narration, moreover, we discover that this merman takes this decision when a festival of lights dances upon the reflection of the waves, and this too is a reference to the original story. When Ariel swims up to the surface for the first time, she sees fireworks coming from the ship of the prince that she falls in love with. This first experience is what eventually leads her to exchange her voice for a pair of legs. And in the same way, after seeing this festival of lights, Stray Kids choose to lose their breath to gain new life on land, much like in the...
Another thing that I think is really, really interesting, and I always love to tie this into a bigger theme, and I'm gonna go full screen for this. Sorry about the little da-ding. Stop with the ding. Anyways, another thing that I think is very, very interesting when it comes to this concept of the Little Mermaid is the fact that you got to give something up in order to get something profound. You know what I'm saying? In the Little Mermaid, she gave up her voice, something that was so beautiful. Keep in mind, Stray Kids also do music and they have a voice. You know what I'm saying? And they gave up that she literally gave up her voice in order to get something more profound, which was becoming human. That's a small thing that you can take away from it. That obviously they trying to put the parallel between love and giving up their breath and stuff like that. But I think it also symbolized the life that they gave up in order to become K-pop stars. And it's kind of like a completely different, you know what I'm saying? But they can still relate, even though it's the complete opposite. You know what I'm saying? It's crazy. Y'all get what I'm saying? Like, she gave up her voice in order to live a human life, and they low-key gave up their humanity. Like, they still human, but they don't live these same experiences that everybody else got to live because of them, actually taking on their voice, if that make any sense, So, it's really, really crazy in my opinion. I don't know if I'm thinking too deep. I always be thinking deep. And I really feel like that's why a lot of us get along over here, because you a smart person. I know you. You like we always come over here, hang out. We be cool as shit. Like, bro, come on, bro. Y'all the homies. Like, stop playing. I know y'all the homegirls, matter of fact. Stop playing with us. But anyways, I was just saying, I think that's cool because, I feel like I always pay really, really close attention to give a great message every single time that I react, and you be rocking with me, so I appreciate it. And I feel like that's what Stray Kids is about. Not only giving us, things that are easily digestible, but also giving us art, which I love, also giving us visuals, dance. Like, they give great depth. You know what I'm saying? And I'm not talking about the sea. Stop playing with me, huh?
Original story, we see that the characters end up suffering a lot because of this decision. Stray Kids have lost their breath for love, so even if they're human, they cannot breathe anyway. They're literally like a fish out of water, so in order to survive, they have to be close to the water, even if they're no longer allowed to go back to it. We see them drinking a lot, ingesting pearls, carrying sea creatures along with them, but nothing seems to quench their thirst and release them from this pain. Even if they eat, human food doesn't seem to satisfy them, and the only time they feel relief is when they're surrounded by water one way or the other. They feel better when it rains, they can breathe underwater, but nothing can ever make them feel better on dry land. Yet when they see the fireworks in the sky, all of them starts chasing this festival of lights, because much like in the original story, the fireworks can be seen as a symbol of the love they gave up everything for. Even if they lost their breath and they're suffering on land, nothing will stop them from achieving their goal and fulfilling their dream of love. So
facts, bro. The fireworks are kind of like a symbol of like what made you want to do that in the first place. And we always, no matter what you go through in your life, you always need a symbol of what you're doing it for. You always need some type of purpose. The only way that you can be successful and continue to, you know, thrive in this world is if, number one, you have competition, whether that's somebody else who you competing with or yourself, which is healthier to compete with yourself. Be better than you were, you know, a week ago, 2 weeks ago, a year ago. You always want to be better. But number two, you got to have a meaning, a reason to continue to go on. And if you don't have that, that's what you need to be in search for. We all need a reason, and it's going to be personal to you, but it could be as simple as, I just want to be great. Literally, like that's what life is. Experiencing all of these types of things and really making it the best that we can make it, despite all of the different type of circumstances that we have, because we all come from our own struggles. We all deal with our own different things, whether it's that coworker that you dislike at work, that one little girl at school who get on your damn nerves. We all have this sense of struggle, but we also can conjure up and use those struggles, use those things that, you know, really irritate us to do better, to put ourselves in better situations. And that's what this life is. It's a constant contrast of good and evil, and heaven is literally in between. The kingdom that they talking about underneath the sea is right in between the good and the bad. That's the balance that we have in life. It's not gonna always be good, and it's not gonna always be bad, but I can promise you that it's all worth it, because this is the experience right here.
Throughout the video, the members try their best to reach the source of these lights. At the end, however, the video concludes in a very ambiguous way. Not only there's no trace of the loved one they sacrificed themselves for, but the sea that was there in the past is now a yellow desert. I think this epilogue here might actually be connected to the final part of Felix's narration. At the end of the trailer, he says that perhaps there may be no going back, and when asking whether this has been land or sea, Felix concludes by saying that it doesn't matter anyway. Now, to me, this means that the focus of this adaptation is not so much on the person they love or the soul they want, but rather on the lengths they're willing to go in order to fulfill their goal. No matter the outcome, stray kids can never go back to the sea after losing their breath. They gained a new life because of that, so whether the sea stays sea or turns into land, it no longer matters because they already made their choice. This is how I see it, at least, but let me know what you think in the comments down below. In the meantime, however,
Nah, facts. Hey, y'all feel free to go check out Bookish Theories. She had a great point. At the very, very end, when that sea turns to desert, that is a symbolism. That's a symbol of you can't go back. And I feel like in life, everything is a series of choices. Some choices bigger than others, but we can never go back to the past. All we can do is learn from our situations so that we don't sabotage our future. And that's how you really, really learn in this lifestyle. You can't go to the past and change anything that you've done in the past. And we shouldn't even want to, because the past is the past. Leave it there. It can't affect you now, or I mean, if you let it affect you now, it can't affect you. But leave that type of stuff in the past and use that knowledge. It's not a loss unless you never learn. Come on, it's not a loss unless you never learn. I've made some mistakes even on my YouTube career, prior to my YouTube career, and no matter what it is, everything in the past, good or bad, I've accomplished some really, really amazing things, but it's in the past. All I can do is take those wins and learn from them. Take those losses and learn from them and make the right decisions now so that in the future, I don't regret as much. Those negative things that happened in my past, I don't want to relive them. So what am I going to learn from that situation? What am I going to take from that situation and make? What choices am I going to make today? Am I going to wake up earlier? Am I going to do what I'm supposed to do today so that in the future, I can look back and be like, that was a good memory. I did what I was supposed to do. I learned from my past. And as long as you continue to learn day to day, week to week, year to year, you're going to be better and better and better. And you're going to find that love for life. And hopefully it'll make you lose your breath. How y'all felt about this breakdown? I felt like Bookish Theories did a really, really good job. And I really did enjoy this breakdown a lot. But I want to know your opinions down in the comment section below. Do you feel like she was spot on? I feel like that definitely line up with Stray Kids and all of the things that they've been through, but I don't know them, I don't know them yet. So, we can only speculate. I hope you guys enjoyed this video, and I hope you're doing good, by the way. Thank you for coming through and supporting all the time. I appreciate y'all, especially if you would stay. Anybody else who not to stay too. I just appreciate y'all coming through and supporting me, watching the videos, taking this journey with me, because it's really been fun. It's really been fun, and in the future I plan to show a little bit more of the journey so that y'all can really see that as a normal person, you can be profound regardless of if you not famous or you know what I'm saying. I'm a normal person just like you, and it's really about the choices that we make.